Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disabilities Redefined with Dr. Wagner. I am Dr. Truett Wagner, here with a very talented and very, very smart young man, Joe Underwood. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Oh, no. Thank you for being here. Okay, Joe, let's just jump right in. I know you are a very, very funny comedian, but I want to, first of all, let's talk about how smart you are. Now, you have a degree in psychology and sports psychology.
Right.
Okay. For those people out there who don't know, what is sports psychology?
So sports psychology is quite literally the psychology behind sport and performance. So specifically what I want to do with it, this is a very surface level explanation, but what I want to do with it is work with athletes or performing artists or maybe the military on the mental aspects that go into performing, right? So performing under stress, increasing motivation, avoiding burnout, overall just increasing their sport enjoyment, their well-being within their sport.
Right.
And helping them perform at their peak.
Right. And you were an athlete. I think I saw some junior high, was it?
So I started doing swimming and wheelchair basketball in third grade. And then I swam through high school graduation. I was on the national team the summer before college for swimming. And then I played wheelchair basketball through college. I got a scholarship to play at the University of Missouri.
What is your disability?
So my disability is spina bifida.
You mentioned wheelchair basketball. So how did that work out with the swim team?
Yeah, so I started doing sports with Arizona Disabled Sports, the sport organization out here for disabled kids. So I joined their swim team and their junior wheelchair basketball team when I was in third grade. And then once I started realizing that I needed a little bit more competition, especially for swimming, is when I started joining able-bodied sports. So I joined a club swim team, able-bodied club swim team after a few years with the Arizona Disabled Sports team.
Okay. I needed some clarification because when I was doing my homework on you, I knew at one time you did swim with a team, and able-bodied team.
Yeah.
Something exists because if you're an athlete, you're going to be competing anyway, right?
Yeah.
But, okay. So thank you for that clarification. That's great, man. Congratulations. So are you only now doing comedy? Now let's get into the comedy. That's what I'm dying to get into.
Yeah.
Are you only now doing comedy? Are you still involved with sports other than your research and pursuing the sports psychology?
Other than sports psych stuff, I'm not in sports right now. I haven't done sports since I graduated undergrad, so 2 years ago. But I do want to get back into it. I especially miss wheelchair basketball, so I'll probably play for a club team at some point. But yeah, comedy and then my sports psych career are the two sort of main things I'm pursuing right now.
First of all, the draw to comedy, and then what's it like performing?
It is a lot of fun performing now. So a little backstory on how I got into comedy real quick. So one of my teammates at University of Missouri did comedy at the local open mic in Columbia. And me and a few of my teammates always went to his shows, and I really enjoyed them. And I've always really liked comedy. And after like a year, I think, of me thinking about it, so I eventually got a set together and tried it out, got a few laughs on my first ever set, and haven't really looked back since. So
where do you think that maybe comedians, go too far?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that is always, because sometimes, for example, like you, okay, I might show a few friends of mine some of your clips, or and they would be like, "So Truett, I mean, is he not making fun of the disabled population?" And I'm like, well, I think he's talking about himself more than anybody else. So where do you think there is a line? And if there is one, when do we cross it? I know it's a loaded question, so.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I think a lot about this. there definitely is a line, but it's a very subjective line. Um, like for example, I think me making super messed up disability jokes should always be okay personally because I'm making them about me. I won't tell. I don't even have any jokes that are about like mentally disabled people. But I will tell any sort of joke that has to do with physically disabled people, and to me, it should be okay because I am most likely talking about myself and my own community and stuff like that. And I think that people of any race, gender identification, anything, have every right to joke about that. You know. Um, where I think the line is, and where I lose respect for comedians is when they start trying to tell jokes that aren't really jokes. They'll say something for shock value, but there won't be a punchline. They'll just say something, you know, racist, for example, just as is. It'll just be a racist sentence, and they'll expect people to just laugh because it's technically a comedy show. So I think the line is, are you setting up a joke and are you making a punchline that makes you sound like the butt of the joke? Are you making the racist sound like the butt of the joke? Or are you encouraging racism? I think that's the line.
Now I want to, Hollywood, okay, as we wrap things up, there is representation out there, you know, Atypical, great show. Rami Youssef actually just won a Golden Globe, you know, best comedy actor, and his friend Steve Way on the show, who is his real life friend, actually has muscular dystrophy. There is representation. So what do you think about this representation going on at this time in Hollywood within the disabled population?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. Like I'm never gonna complain about more representation and stuff. Representation and inclusiveness is one thing that I go for with my comedy and stuff like that. So I'm never going to complain about it in shows and movies. I think that there can always be more done, right? But also at the same time, we don't want it to get to a point where they're just deliberately adding in random disabled people to shows just because they're disabled. You know, we want it to be deliberate, and I guess there should be a meaning behind why the disabled person is in there, like Atypical, for example.
Yeah, very good point. Excellent point. Listen, this has been a very, very good interview. I guess the final question, and I promise this is the last one.
You're good.
Where do you want to see comedy, your comedy career, go?
I mean, I definitely have cool dreams of, you know, having the Netflix special and maybe being in a writer's room, writing sketches and stuff like that. But I think the thing that I'm trying to be more goal oriented and reasonable with myself right now. So I think as long as I can keep making comedy that is being seen by these people who are DMing me on Instagram and saying that I made their day, that I'm inspirational to them and stuff like that. I think as long as my career keeps going in that direction, I don't honestly care if I have 2,000 followers or 2 million. Like I wholeheartedly don't care. I'm not even just saying that. I really like that keeps happening. That's all I can do.
It has been a great interview. What can I say? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was awesome.